Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is PJ from PMA Syndicate. I'm here at Lavery Brewing Company, along with my business partner and co-owner.
Dan Reefstall, what's up, people?
And then, as you guys can see behind me here, we also have what basically started PMA Syndicate from talk into action in creating this are the guys from Never Say Never.
I'm Dana.
Phil?
And I'm Jay. What's up, guys?
So they agreed to do this without any baseball bats, without any threats. No, it's been real, and like I said, we're going to be talking about for the first family sit down for the PMA Syndicate here, and discussing some things about the boys and the band and kind of what brought it together. But most importantly, the release of a record that, in my opinion, and I can probably say everybody here's opinion, is timeless. 25-year anniversary of the classic Down This Road. Just an album that not only affected me personally, I think affected a lot of people. And I think it's still going to have that same effect on everybody that listens to it. That'll be dropping on June 21st. 2026, summer solstice. I mean, there's a whole bunch here. So if you like to do some puzzles and listen in and reading into stuff with this release and what it's about, I think everything ties together really well. So I'm going to quit talking for now and we'll get into it with the guys here. I think the first question, and we'll kind of just go, y'all can kind of say if you want a little answer here. How did you guys come to be? How did Never Say Never come to be?
We'll let Dana handle it.
Dana's going to handle this? All right, cool.
My memory and recollection of it was incorrect, as he corrected me last week. So, Dana.
Awesome.
John Miller and I were in various bands, and we were playing, and we got a call from Jay and Bob Nuara saying, hey, we wanted to practice, and we ended up going into Jay's basement and practicing a rehearsal of who knows what songs. And by the end of that rehearsal, Never Say Never was born. It was very spontaneous, and I had never met Jay, and I had never met Bob, and we recorded a demo shortly thereafter, and off to the races.
Awesome. Any other
He
input?
pretty much summed it up.
Nailed
But
it.
Phil wasn't around in those days.
No.
So he came out
a
of
little
this.
later.
All right.
Although Phil was your neighbor, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I
Phil
was.
and
So
I
Phil was
went-
literally
We were
Phil
all
was,
neighbors, me,
yeah.
Bob, and Jay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
then Phil was literally around.
And
he
I
just
had-
wasn't
Not
in that
around.
basement.
Just waiting for Bob to quit.
Sorry, Bob. All right, cool. So I don't know who wants to answer this, but you guys, what we know and some of the people will know had for even though it was a short-lived, some crazy opportunities and experiences. So we're curious, what was the most memorable part for you guys with Never Say Never and being in this band?
Phil?
Showplace Theater for me. Although, Warped Tour was pretty memorable.
Yeah, we played the Buffalo leg of the Warp Tour. And then for me, one of the most memorable things was when we finally got Barcode Records to agree to put out an album for us.
Yeah.
Because I had been in many bands prior to that.
Harsh reality.
Yeah, right. Shout out.
Shout out.
And was never able to really get to that point. So, that was an exciting moment for me.
Awesome.
Actually have somebody willing to pay for us to record.
Yeah, exactly.
In John's basement, playing over the years, we always had cheap gear from World of Music, and Never Say Never was the beginning of having real equipment. So that was a big moment for me.
Yeah.
Having
Sounded like you got a jab at World of Music in that.
no,
Yeah.
just, we-
No offense, World of Music. You guys do sell good stuff.
we were just playing on budget gear, and
Yeah.
that was Never Say Never was I got my first real guitar amplifier that was a Sirius amp, and
Yeah.
that was a big
for
deal.
sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, World Music, seriously. I think Dig actually lived above you guys for a hot minute there. So we got love for y'all. We got love for y'all.
Best apartment.
I think John lived above World of Music too, actually.
Did he really?
Yeah.
John Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah, I took the apartment over from Zach Orr. He lived above there, and
I was going to
we
say, I was over at
swapped.
Zach's up there.
Yeah, we swapped. He bought my house actually, and I moved into his apartment. So it was a cool adventure.
Awesome. See, everything in life, man. You know, it's all connected. So going on the opposite side, right? With you know, there's always a positive and there's always a negative. And not always everything has to be necessarily a negative there, but what was the worst experience for you guys as a band? Whether touring, just as a band in general. And I think we know one obvious thing, but besides that, which we'll get into.
Yeah, life is filled with trouble.
Yeah.
And I think probably one of the clearly the biggest impacts that we had negatively as a band was our friend John leaving.
Oh, for sure. Especially because it came on the heels of us getting that record deal with Barcode Records. We had played a CD release show here in Erie and one at the Showplace Theater in Buffalo with the Molotov Cocktail. And then that's when he informed me that he was leaving. And I was like, dude, I mean, your timing couldn't be worse.
Excellent.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I kind of, you know, that was a sad moment for me personally
Yeah.
because I felt like I finally got everything that I was always looking forward to, and then the rug got pulled out from underneath us pretty quickly afterwards. So, yeah.
Totally get it.
Same
Same
thing.
kind of
It's
thing.
absolutely, that was exactly the pinnacle of the worst moment.
Well, now hopefully some new good stuff coming with this release.
Truth be told, even after Down This Road and John left, we still recorded an EP with another drummer, Aaron Weisslogel.
Yep.
And that's available, I think, if not now, shortly on streaming,
On the platforms,
called Burning Bridge. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, I was not aware of that.
Good
That's
stuff there. There's a little surprise even for us here and everybody there. So I love it, man. We're getting some good tweaks here. So just so I'm not doing all the talking, because I mean, believe it or not, Dan can talk.
Yeah.
Um,
Shout out to Weisslogel. He's a great drummer too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let him ask a few of these questions here. So Dan, take it over, Dig.
I get the chopstick. All right.
Get the chopstick.
Thank
man.
you,
I'm gonna get a
sir.
sip of my beer though, real quick.
All right. So next, we're just gonna, talk a little bit about some of the songs. What song did you guys almost scrap but ended up keeping, and now you can't imagine not having that song?
Ivy Filipino.
Ivy Filipino. For those of you that have the Down This Road CD, it's a little hidden song at the end of in the end. It's 8 minutes past or something, but it's not going to make it onto the LP this time, unfortunately.
And we got some company. Give a shout out. Say hello.
Hello, everybody. Yeah. And so, other than Ivy Filipino,
Is there other?
Check it out. It's good.
I feel like songs didn't necessarily get trashed per se, but as we wrote new material, there were a lot of songs that we just didn't play out live or at band practice much anymore. But we didn't necessarily scrap them. It's just a natural way things happen, I think.
Yeah, we had
Certain songs rise to the top,
Yeah.
and certain ones settle near the bottom.
If we
And
thought
not
about-
that you can't ever bust them out again, but
We thought about scrapping one, we just made it better.
right. So
Cool. Right on. So musically, what is the oddest influence that you guys had that kind of made it into Never Say Never?
Gloria
yeah,
Estefan.
Gloria stuff. That's all right.
That's for Phil. What made Never Say Never what it was we all had different influences. I was more in that season 25 years ago into the punk rock, Fat Records, Epitaph type bands. John was into the more street punk, Dead Milkmen, Social Distortion, Sex Pistols. Jay, you were more into metal, Sepultura, things like that.
yeah, absolutely.
And so-
Hardcore music.
Sick of it all. What's that dude sick of?
Hardcore, baby, all day.
And so really I think that's what really made Never Say Never a melting pot of sounds, is we all brought different elements of what we were listening to at that time and made a unique blend.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Awesome. So, who had the best pre-show ritual? Or was it just like, let's rip? Or did you guys
Or
like
is
do...
this ain't Triple X, is it?
John puking somewhere.
John puking somewhere?
that was his ritual.
That was his ritual.
Yeah.
Was he nerves? Was it a nerve thing for him?
Either that or he would get a migraine. He was prone to migraines, you know, and sometimes when he got those, he really didn't feel like playing shows. So some of my pre-show ritual would be giving him a nice little pep talk, being like, "Come on, man, we drove all this way. Let's go out and rock this for 45 minutes, and then you know whatever."
Yeah, there were shows when he was down the street. And
Yeah,
didn't-
I remember that in
and-
particular.
and didn't think he could go on stage.
Yeah,
and
so he was, you know, he would not be feeling well at times. So
yeah.
My pre-show ritual is mostly Jay harping on me about not messing up parts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's solid. I'm going to turn it back over to PJ.
Oh, yeah.
you gotta hold that. Too.
I got to hold all this stuff here because, you know, we don't like doing paper, but we're old. I'm going to forget what I want to ask these guys here. So now the cool question, I mean, kind of going off of what we just talked about, influences and things of that nature. What currently are you guys spinning? I mean, are we looking at the same sort of genres here? Have we branched out? What's going down?
Listening to you mean? Like,
Yeah.
Listening to, yeah. Like what are you putting on your vinyl, or what are you putting in your
Jay's a
CD or
reggae
streaming?
dude
Yeah, we know reggae. We like reggae. Tropidelic, Cleveland, shout out.
Little Stranger, I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I mean, in Never Say Never, I had no vocabulary with the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Rush. All these bands really had an impact on me in the intervening 25 years. I would say now, a band called Porcupine Tree, Steven Wilson, more proggy type stuff. That's where I've been musically, but just an appreciation for really classic rock, which I had no vocabulary for back in the day.
Yeah. And even though I do listen to a lot of reggae these days, and you know what I mean, it's none of it's straight reggae. Reggae has fused, you know, with Sublime, obviously you had reggae fusing with punk rock and ska and stuff like that. And since the days of Sublime, reggae has just drawn even more influences in, from hip hop to rock and roll and all kinds of stuff. Even like old R&B stuff you can find, which I like that kind of stuff. I like jazz. But I do have an appreciation, like Dana said, for classic rock too. Maybe more so now than I did, because growing
'Cause we're
up it was like
classics.
metal, punk, hardcore,
yeah.
you know, a little bit of hair band here and there, a little Whitesnake, a little Motley Crue.
And
But-
Kiss.
Yeah.
Lick it up. Lick it up.
Well, I do remember, you know, for a while there, like we talked about earlier with the Sick of It All jacket. I remember some girl in high school saying, "What's more, he's sick of it? What's he so sick of?" And I was like, it's a band, you know. But I just remember it was like transitioning from, you know, grunge to hardcore, and then metal. It was like 10 straight years of metal and hardcore. That was it. Like, it definitely transitions. And I think as you grow older, you become a little bit more interested in exploring other territories.
I think you grow up. I mean, now same thing, man. I was more, for me, it was heavy and hard and fast, and then punk and dig actually got me in a little bit more like Face to Face and some of those type of bands, and No Motive. Shout out to those guys. Like the early emo stuff, I guess you could say, right? Yeah. So I think, but I do find out the older I get, man, skateboarding to hip hop is a hell of a lot easier than skateboarding to like punk or metal. I will say that. I'll say that right now.
Slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, you know, get a little bit more groove in there. So, you know, I know you guys haven't really, you know, done like active. I mean, you're not super active right now, but we all know you guys to a level. So when you're not working on music or anything in that realm, like, what are you guys
Yeah,
doing? What are
we
you
actually
interested
are
in?
super active right now.
Yeah.
We
All right, you popped that cherry out.
Yeah,
All right. All right.
We switched gears, and since you guys got together with us about releasing this 25th anniversary vinyl, we thought, hey, let's write a song, which turned into 2, which turned into 3, which turned into 4, and we're writing new music. We're auditioning drummers. There's new Never Say Never music on the way.
Yeah. And it sounded pretty good, if I do say so myself.
I know we got a sneak peek of one song, and me and Dan were both kind of blown away, and we weren't sure when that cherry was going to get popped. So hell yeah, that's awesome.
Right on.
Yeah, no, we're working on it for sure. What was the question?
I don't know. No, it was mainly like, what do you guys like to do on a creative aspect? Like if you're not working on music or you're not doing that,
I
like
work on a
what are you
food
guys
truck,
doing on
so-
a writing? And we got right. This is
gotta know
creative
what
right now,
happens.
so people coming through right now, they can say what's up.
Come on in.
You can say hi, camera. It's all
Wave
good.
with the camera, or don't.
Or don't. They ain't got to. They're cool though.
Yeah, he did.
They're coming to Lavery's. You know they're cool. You know this is rock and roll, right?
right,
You know, we'll keep it on there. But yeah, no creative
We're
stuff.
playing in a little bit, so they'll start filing.
Everybody will start coming through here. Any other creative? You know, what do you guys? I mean, poetry,
Yeah.
sandcastles. I don't know.
Yeah, as I was saying, I work on a food truck, so especially in the summer season, that takes up quite a bit of my time, and so that's a fun thing to do. But we all have families, so we all spend a lot of time with family too.
Woodworking,
You got Phil.
woodworking, video creation.
Yeah.
Phil builds some cool stuff.
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
really
Build it.
does.
That's awesome.
Yes, we're all busy.
Kids.
You don't have to answer, man. He's like, I ain't doing nothing. But he's got a lot of kids.
I'm like, how old is she? He's like, ask her.
Yeah.
He's got so many.
I got a lot of kids. Yeah, that's
got a
how
lot of
Dana
kids.
is.
But you spit them out 2 at a time.
Well, that kind of goes, I mean, that'll go right into our next question. Because, I mean, all of us here are dads. So we all kind of know that pain, some more than others.
It's a blessed pain.
It's a blessing. I always said being a dad is the hardest job you'll ever love.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the hardest job. Trust me. It's hard, but you love it. But that what goes into, what do you think is harder, though? Being parents or writing out a record?
Parent.
For me.
Parents. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, music kind of
Yeah, that's easy.
comes,
Yeah.
with not as much effort. I feel like.
Yeah.
Not even close. And it doesn't talk back.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. No, parenting has a whole different goal in mind than making music.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Dig, I'll throw it back to you. I mean, I think I'd probably agree with you guys.
I noticed
think
that
I'd
you.
agree with you on that.
I noticed that you skipped a question. Is it probably because the answer was Phil? That's probably why. It says who is most likely to mess up mid-set or mid-song? Is that why you decided it?
Pretty much kind of answered it. But
Yeah.
that was the one right there. The
That's
Goofy
Phil.
Party.
Well, I'll be honest. I'll take the brunt away from Phil. We played these songs live for the first time, like as a band together in Phil's garage the other day, and I would say I was the least prepared. So, but in the old days, yeah, definitely Phil.
Oh, yeah. Are you saying I was on point Friday then?
I mean,
Pretty tight. Pretty tight.
I couldn't really hear you.
Yeah.
Chose
So,
not to hear me.
as we've talked about already, hello, welcome. Come on in.
We got lots of guests here.
Yeah, we have lots of guests. Yeah, yeah.
Very popular.
It's all good.
So we talked about it a little bit earlier, and Dana spoke to it. But how does it feel knowing Down This Road has got finally be pressed to vinyl?
Yeah, it's really cool. Again, just speaking from my own experience, I never had records. I never spun actual vinyl. But I have, in the intervening 25 years, I have a quite large vinyl collection. And it's really cool knowing that I can add Never Say Never to it.
Mine's not so large, but I do have a record player, and I'm excited to check it out.
Yeah, I've never really collected vinyl too much, but I know a lot of people who do, and super thankful for you guys,
Yeah,
to you
absolutely.
guys, by the way, for having interest in doing this. I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, I mean, selfishly, PJ and I wanted this album on vinyl so much that we decided, hey, welcome to the furnace. Welcome. But we decided we wanted to do it, and then we're like, let's just figure out a way to make this happen. I mean, so that's what kind of spearheaded this whole thing. So now, that you guys are 25 years in the rear view, any regrets about anything that happened to get to this point where you're at now?
I wouldn't say I have any regrets.
Yeah,
Life works its way out the way it's going to, and I wouldn't trade those old days for anything, even though obviously, I would have liked it to go a different way. It didn't, but I'm still thankful for the great years, the great shows, and thankfully we had our own little fan base here, not just in Erie, but probably mainly here. And some of those people are still interested. We get people reaching out to us to this very day. Hey, do you have any copies of CDs left or anything like that? Watch it, Dick.
Oh, shit.
Or he's going to pull that off there.
Bam! Interview.
And that's the first.
And that's a wrap.
All right, and we're back here, PMA Syndicate, the sit-down part 2. A little bit of excitement, and it wouldn't be one of these without some excitement. So going on to the next sort of question and curiosity of us being PMA Syndicate, and figure we throw out to the guys, when you hear the word PMA, positive mental attitude, what comes to mind when you hear PMA? What does it mean to you guys, if anything at all?
I could start because I grew up listening to the Bad Brains, and so just immediately that's what comes to my mind. Is the old days of listening to the Bad Brains and those types of songs. But I would say PMA to me, is just trying to focus on the positive, which I feel like I try to do a little bit more than I did in the old days. And in this world today, it's no secret that there is a lot of negativity out there. And if you let that kind of steer your life, I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. So that's kind of what it means to me. And then lastly, I just want to finish by saying it means you guys, we really appreciate this, opportunity to get the Down This Road record out on vinyl. And I think it's a cool name and a cool project in general.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We appreciate it. And, we can get sappy, but I mean, you guys, but this project is kind of what really kicked it in gear, even though it started out just like Dan said earlier, being selfish, and us wanting it on vinyl because it's such a phenomenal freaking record and work of art. So, yeah, no, awesome. We appreciate that. Any other stuff on PMA, or you guys get on with this
I
question?
think Jay pretty much summed it up. I mean, this was great. I thought of Millencolin for some reason, but
Good band, though.
great band.
Good band.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Hit us with the next one, PJ. What's up?
The next one is you got to remember. There's a lot of these bands are still active, so they're gonna have to be careful with this. But what's your favorite 814 band? There's no timeline. There's nothing there, so it doesn't have to be currently in. But yeah, what's your favorite?
Have to be Brothers Keeper for me. I mean,
Okay.
814 band for sure.
So I actually saw Brothers Keeper pretty early on. I feel like they might have just switched their name over from Something to Prove, honestly. Guitar players still had mullets or the long hair going on. I shouldn't say mullets, but it was at State Street Tavern, SST. My old band, way prior to Never Say Never, used to play there. So, yeah, definitely a shout out to Brothers Keeper. Also, My Three Scum, really old classic punk band from the Erie area. And they definitely got into some rockabilly a little later on, and I really like that aspect of their stuff as well. And then today, just let me finish with one more. Lapaka Roots, he's kind of a reggae guy. He kind of resides in Waterford, but he's originally from Hawaii, and he actually has played with a lot of bigger name reggae artists such as Fortunate Youth. He knows the guys from Iration. You can catch him anywhere around here at the food hall. He plays all over the place in Erie. So if you see him out, he plays at the distillery at Altered State quite a bit too. So check out Lapaka Roots if you haven't.
Awesome.
Dana's a little
That's
out of
it.
the
That's-
loop.
he's like,
He's
I got
gone
nothing.
for a minute.
No, I got nothing for an 814 band, but a band that we used to play a lot with, which we need to mention, is Molotov Cocktail. And they're from Buffalo,
They weren't from
and
too far away, yeah.
They're still in there.
we have a fond place in our hearts for that band. We stayed with them when we were recording Down This Road, I think, didn't we?
Yep.
In Buffalo.
I made my wife and kids listen to them just yesterday in the car.
Yeah. Tony, who's the vocalist. Tony, we still don't know what your last name is.
But we want
If you
to.
could tell us what your last name is, we can find you on social media. That would be a blessing.
And honestly, I have to say, I love those guys so much as well. I remember watching you guys play with them multiple times.
Yeah.
People that have no real interest in that, in hardcore punk rock, like my brother, still cites Molotov Cocktail, Sharon's Boat as one of his favorite albums. He loves that album, and as do I. It's a
So
great
do
album.
I do. I
Great album.
revisited it yesterday, and I was like, wow, man, I love this so much.
And let me just say one thing about Molotov Cocktail that's worth mentioning. Every member of that band was completely different from one another. They had nothing in common whatsoever.
No, it's amazing. They even
The
keep-
fact that they were able to, create that music and have the
Yeah.
vast differences that they had between each other, it's really a.
Did they play with us in Northeast at South Shore, or
Yeah.
was just some of them with us there? Did they play
Uh,
that show?
They might have.
No, they
we
did.
played a lot of
No,
shows.
they did play that show.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Says yes.
Yeah, so we played a show in Northeast where we're from, and at the South Shore Winery.
Yeah.
And I remember Brandon
In the tunnel.
in the parking lot talking to him. He was the bass player for Molotov Cocktail. But yeah, we were very joined at the hip with that
We
band.
were. We played a ton of shows with them, both in Erie and in Buffalo and apparently
Was
Northeast.
that not the old tunnel that led to the Underground Railroad in South Shore? That's what that was. No, it really
Maybe.
is.
But they certainly had the coolest tour bus because they had one of those short buses
Yeah.
for like the school
Yeah,
bus.
and they
That
pulled
was
the
for
little
Brandon.
lever to let you out. We used to ride around on that thing in the
Classic.
streets of Buffalo. That was
Nice.
pretty cool.
So yeah, I wanted to even though they're not properly an 814 band,
Hey.
I wanted to mention them in this interview.
They were in the 814 area once.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's only fair because if you go back to, Lake Effect, in effect, still 2020 sick. We're out here, but if you want to go back to that, I mean, Hatebreed is honorary Lake Effect family coming in from Connecticut and hanging out at panels with those guys before they got big. Shout out to Jamie, Florida.
You guys played with.
Yeah, you guys played with
I was
Hatebreed
just
too,
gonna
right?
say, I'm unsure if it was Never Say Never or if it was Harsh Reality,
Okay.
but one of those two bands opened for Hatebreed here at Forward Hall.
I remember. Yeah.
And
not
I
remember.
can't remember which one it was, but yeah.
I don't remember, but I mean, you guys did. I mean, Run Devil Run, Spud Monster. I mean, there's a lot of connection with just 18 Vision. Yeah,
We definitely.
yeah. So there's a lot of love, even though they ain't all
Throw
814
it out.
bands, but coming through here, we get in a little bragging part of Lake Effect stuff and the whole scene here, but we won't because that's not what this is about. So let's go on the opposite end of the spectrum, and it's okay because I'll say it right here on video. Yes, I like Taylor Swift. What are you going to say to me? Mainstream band. I got a daughter. Mainstream bands, though, today. What are you guys checking out that are considered mainstream? I mean, past or present, something that people like, whatever. Like, maybe it's Michael Jackson. Fucking rules.
Tool's been a huge inspiration for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say it depends on what you mean by main.
I think just mainstream, like something where, for the MTV age or after that got some radio play or just something that like almost your everyday person that doesn't have to be into like scene sort of music might know.
Radio.
I mean, I don't know if Metallica's mainstream, but they're
Yeah, they're
I would
mainstream
say they're
now.
mainstream.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm just saying that was a big
Yeah.
starting
Huge
point
influence.
for me when I was younger.
I went Gloria
Obviously.
Estefan, Bon Jovi, Metallica.
Hey, Bon Jovi, 814 Roots too. Bon Jovi got some 814 love, man. Giving love a bad name over here.
Yeah. I think a name I mentioned them in the intervening 25 years. Classic rock, Led Zeppelin. Robert Plant is probably one of the artists that keeps reinventing himself. I've seen him on late shows recently. He's did acoustic sets with Alison Krauss. I think that's a good note to discuss Never Say Never in the future because, as bands continue to evolve and reinvent themselves, again, Robert Plant, coming from Led Zeppelin, has completely reinvented himself, and I really appreciate that. So I see him these days and I say, wow, there's a great musician that isn't pigeonholed into one sound and keeps putting out new music that is worth listening to.
Yeah, I can agree. I mean, I think with music in general and looking at art in general, I mean, as you grow, you progress, and everybody likes to throw that word like sell out and this and that. Like, how are you a sellout if you're staying true to yourself and you're putting stuff out that's authentic? You're going to grow, you're going to change. I mean, there's music that, I'm 48 years old. I wouldn't have listened to, 25 years ago. I would have laughed at you if you would have thrown that out there.
The
And
truth is, if you are staying true to yourself, you're definitely not a sellout.
Yeah.
People throw that term
They-
around.
they- it
too
gets
much,
thrown around too much.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know?
The other truth is, if you are 48, you're listening to slower music.
well, I don't know, man. I don't know. Some of the slower music has crept in, It's crept in.
Not exclusive.
Not exclusive, but it's crept in, I
You
get
did mention Taylor Swift. So
Taylor Swift, little Tay-Tay shout out, if we ever get big enough, I'll happily come on stage with you.
In that regard, I think we all have our roots that came from somewhere, and like Dana, perhaps his family or his parents weren't into that. Like I grew up with Led Zeppelin and the Beatles and the Doors because that's what my parents listened to.
Sure.
And then I went into 80s music that kind of like crowded house and was all emo in my bedroom. Then 90s, then metal, then it all progresses
Grunge,
through. But
little grunge.
little grunge, of course, grunge came in there. Metal, hardcore, and I think it's not, you're not really living if you're not evolving when it comes to music. You got to open your mind, But I don't know about these guys, but like I was hardcore dude for 10 straight years, like nothing but hardcore, no salads, right, Jay? Like it's all
a
that.
lot of hardcore people ate salad.
Somebody let Alice out of her chains.
yeah.
That's not hardcore to me, but if it was hardcore to you, then it's all good.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. I mean, look at I think a Turnstile, which Dig is obsessed with.
I am.
People not calling them hardcore because they grew even from their first demos and stuff. I mean, yeah, no, I think that's great. That's pretty much it. I mean, one of the biggest ones here, and this will be kind of wrapping it up. I don't know if you can do this in the way we word this question, but if you can, awesome. If it's more than that, that's cool too. One word to describe Never Say Never.
I'll answer that because, little secret, they gave us these questions in advance.
We ain't dumb.
And the first word that came to my mind when I saw that was melodic. I think we have a lot of melody in Never Say Never. Yeah, hey,
Cheers.
don't leave me
Cheers.
out.
My beer's over there.
So that's the word that comes to my mind.
I'm impressed.
Phil?
No, I'm impressed. That's great.
I have to think about it a little longer.
Hard to top
That's
that.
cool. That's cool.
We'll pause the video then.
Yeah. No, to me, if I was going to throw it in there, I mean, real.
Energetic. I mean, I don't know.
I like both of those.
Yeah. No, energetic
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll put a word. Time capsule.
Okay.
Time capsule.
That's 2 words.
Well, not one day.
I gave permission to do more than one word. Yeah. No, I think all that really does describe it. I mean, not to get I'm going through some things right now in my personal life, and music always helps. And sure as shit, what's on there is some Never Say Never, and a bonus track, by the way, on the vinyl.
2 bonus tracks.
2 bonus tracks, but the one is really helping me out right now and making me see things through some different perspectives there. So, I think that's all. I think you
song?
guys did some great stuff. We got some company coming. That's all right. They can give up. They're cool. They're from Lavish too, Y'all say hello.
Oh, hello.
Shalom.
Shalom. Well, that works. That works. So yeah, we keep it real here. So, Dan, any last words that you'd like to say? Not like last words, like God. I hope not.
Giving my what is one
I
word?
didn't even know.
One word.
Oh my
This
God.
guy.
One word for Never Said raw, real is what I always kind of, really, it definitely struck a chord with me. I mean, I was living it with these guys. I was there at most of the shows, being part of the whole scene, and it really meant a lot to me to help build who I am today. And that's, like we said, part of what PMA Syndicate's all about is us, focusing on what's real, having real conversations, living life. Like I said, as you get older, we're, in our late 40s now, we're like, reflecting back on life and seeing, what has, brought us to where we are, what, music is a big part of all of our lives and has, definitely had a big impact on creating who we are as people.
Yep. No, I agree.
Good
Any
answer.
closing words, gents?
Thank you again, guys. We
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks.
all of this stuff.
You guys are awesome.
Chance to get it out on record. We appreciate it, for real.
We wish you guys the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
More to come.
Definitely. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, you heard it here. Thank you guys for joining the first PMA Family Sit Down, and I don't think I could literally think of a better way to do this. Notice we're not sitting. right? We keep it real. We're standing in a hallway. I mean, you know, it ain't CBGBs for those that know that. No, but I think this is pretty real. And I too, wanted to say thank you guys for trusting us. Yeah, I mean, we've been friends and know each other and all that kind of fun stuff throughout the years here.
When does the vinyl come out?
6/21/26. Pre-orders should be going up here. The website will be out within the week here. Socials will be up. We had a little problem. They thought we were spam. You know, it is what it is. But that'll get adjusted here, and we'll have that. But yeah, I think this is awesome. Good guys. We got some good new music. You heard that here. So hell yeah, man. Never say never. Down this road is not the end.
That's it. Stay tuned for more music.
Cheers.
Cheers.